Hi, my name's Dave Cadd, and this is Draw My Life. It's been about 3 years since my first Draw My Life, though I thought I'd do an updated one since a lot has happened and a few more people are watching. But before I get to the new stuff, here's a little recap. So yeah, hi, I'm Dave. I was born on July 6th, 1988 in a place called Surrey in England. A place you maybe haven't heard of, but now I live in a town called London, which hopefully you have heard of. As far as I know, I was a pretty normal kid, but I did kind of suffer with what I can only call separation anxiety, as whenever I'd get dropped off at my play school, I'd literally run after my mum like I was escaping from prison as she was driving away. Growing up, I was never the best at school. My imagination and short attention span wouldn't let me get good at it. In class, I'd always be drifting off into my own thoughts and dreaming of playing for Manchester United or doodling on my arm. I always was more creative and sporty than academic. I was on the football team and on the rugby team for a while. I didn't really like playing rugby, but I was pretty good at it since I was twice the size of all the other kids, so my teachers kind of made me play for the team. My dad always likes to tell the story of when I was running with the ball with a kid on my back and one on each of my legs and went on to score. My teenage years were quite tough for me mentally. I wasn't particularly good at school, as I mentioned. I had acne and spots everywhere. My self-esteem and confidence were rock bottom. Fortunately, I had a group of friends around me who didn't care about any of that stuff. We just liked hanging out at the park, skateboarding and playing basketball. It's these people who nearly 12 years later I'm still friends with today. Skateboarding was a huge part of my life growing up. Every day in the summer holidays I'd be practicing and actually got pretty good. Check this out. But if we fast forward a few years, disaster strikes. My friends and I took a trip to the skate park one day, and I thought it'd be a good idea to try and kickflip a set of stairs, something I'd never even attempted before. Anyway, I landed awkwardly and ended up tearing my MCL, and my knee has never been the same. Fast forward a few more years, and I finished college. At this point, university was just not going to happen. But to this day, it's one of my biggest regrets not going to university. So instead, I went and found a job. I've had many jobs over the years: shop assistant, camp counselor, football coach, graphic designer, just to name a few. But it was after my summer in America as a camp counselor I realized that I had a pretty good grasp on writing. So I started writing a blog which served as kind of a diary for my trip. Although I was good at it and a lot of people were enjoying reading it, it felt like hard work. It felt like being at school again. And that's when I found YouTube and started making video blogs. Yeah, I couldn't be bothered to color it all in red, so yeah. While I was working as a graphic designer, I eventually moved out of my mum's house and into a flat with a friend. It was really cool to finally be out on my own 2 feet. But then, enter in Kat Peterson. We met as if by fate. On Tinder. So since Kat is kind of lazy and didn't want to go miles to meet for her dates, her radius was set to 2 kilometers. And at that point in time, I didn't live anywhere near her, but I just happened to be going on a train past her town at that exact moment. And then we matched. Although it's a Tinder story, I feel like it's pretty special. But anyway, we met and fell straight in love, and within a few months, I was whisked off to Finland to meet her entire family. And I'm not exaggerating when I say entire family. Maybe that's a story for another time. But during this time, I started working on a side project to kind of help pay the bills. I spent my last £200 of my savings on a campaign, and would you know, it was almost an overnight success. This project became so good that it actually became my business, and eventually I was able to quit my day job and do it full time. And at this point, I could pretty much work anywhere in the world. So Kat and I decided that I would move into her flat in London. Though calling that a flat is perhaps a bit of a stretch. It was more like a broom closet. But since it was cheap, we decided to stay here for a few months until the summer, where we planned to go to Finland to spend it with her family, and then when we come back, we'd look for something bigger. About 6 weeks before we were set to leave for the summer, a flat above us in the same building became vacant, and we just had to take it. It was perfect. So we left for Finland again, and we stayed there for nearly 3 months. This was absolutely one of my favourite times in my life. I really got to experience Finland at its finest and explore new places, taste weird and wonderful things, but best of all, I got to spend some real quality time with Kat and her family in the most wonderful setting imaginable. It was the summer of a lifetime that I'll get to repeat again this year. So there we have it, that was my life shown in terrible drawings in just under 6 minutes. Now, looking back on my life was pretty fun, but I'm really looking forward to what the future holds. So I hope you guys will stick around, come along for the ride with me here on YouTube. And to do that, all you have to do is subscribe. Thank you so much for watching my Draw My Life video, and I'll see you next time. See ya!